Hello, everybody, and welcome to our second installment of Memoribilia Monday. I am your host, Tony Gillespie from the Village Folk, and today we are going to talk about my very first autographed album, folk album, that I ever received, and it is from the legendary Pete Seeger. So it was about 2007, and one of the real first things that got me interested in folk music was Bob Dylan. And his book Chronicles, I was reading it one day, and he was talking about a lot of the roots that he had grown up on and that he had experienced, like Woody Guthrie, of course, which is his idol, Ramblin' Jack Elliott, Odetta. He name drops a lot of people in the book, but one of them that I was most intrigued by was Pete Seeger. So I wanted to, I'm kind of inquisitive by nature, so I wanted to go out and find a little bit more about Pete. So I found out he was born in 1919 in New York, and he ended up having a recording career that spanned nearly 75 years and hundreds of albums. And I know I have a bunch of his albums, so I know he had a ton of them. So one of the first albums that I got when I really got into folk music was Pete's first album on Folkways, which was the 10-inch Darling Corey, which was released around 1950. It was the third Folkways album. FP3 is the number, so is the really early Folkways albums. So I had this album, I listened to it, and I just loved it. I mean, some of the banjo work on it is just amazing. So I thought, I wonder, I know Pete's still alive. I wonder if I can get him to sign this album for me. So of course, finding his address was easy because he built him and his wife Toshi had actually built their own cabin up in Beacon, up on a steep hill back in the late 40s, like 1949, and he had lived there his entire life. So the address was really easy to find. So I packaged it up, put it in the mail, and decided that I was going to send this off and see if I can get Pete to sign it. So I got my self-addressed stamp envelope, and I put the record in there, packaged it up really nice. I wrote Pete a nice letter telling him how much he meant to me, because at the time I really didn't know Pete's work, but I have grown into really respecting him not only as an artist, but as a person in his beliefs and how he stood up always for the cause. So, and I wrote about that a little bit to him in a letter. And I put it in there, and I sent it off, and it really didn't take long. A couple of weeks later, I think, maybe not even that, I got the album back. And, of course, it's boldly signed by Pete at the bottom. And on the side, which I thought was a nice touch, he actually wrote record 1947, signed 2007, which was, to me, was the best part of it, because he had actually taken the time to give a little bit more of the history, because me being a history nerd, of course I love that, and I love it especially because it goes to the longevity of Pete's career. So seeing that on there, every time I see that on there, it makes me think of Pete and how special he was and how just prolific he was in his singing and his activism. So there you have it. My very first autographed album was Pete Seeger in 2007. It was the album Darling Corey, 10-inch on Folkways. I highly recommend it if you don't have it. It wasn't through the mail, but I am 100% confident that it was Pete that signed it and wrote the nice sentiment on the side. So that was my very first autographed album. I hope you enjoyed the story. Please check back every Monday. We're going to try to do this on the regular, and we have some other cool things coming up too. So stick around with me, like the video if you liked it, subscribe, make sure you turn your notifications on so you see when new videos come up, and we'll see you next time, guys. Come over and visit us at The Village Folk on Facebook. The link is in the description. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.